Welcome to Winning Wall Street's Money. Look at another video. Here we're looking at agricultural grain futures. It's Saturday, so we'll look at the weekly charts. Each candle is a week. Starting off here with the corn futures. All commodities are priced in US dollar. So we're looking at futures that trade. We're looking at commodities that trade in the US futures market, and they're all priced in dollars because all commodities trade in dollars. Here on the corn for the week, we finished green for the week, made a higher high, higher low, broke above the high of last week, closed above it, also broke above and closed above consolidation, bullish bias. I have this horizontal line labeled from this consolidation area as a potential target we might be gunning for. And then next is the swing high here I'm looking at with this yellow horizontal line as potential price. Or see if we're going to make another new high next week, or if we're going to start doing a consolidation phase, which is a staircase pattern here. Look at this consolidation, broke to the upside, consolidation, broke to the upside. So we already have a bullish bias here too. Staircase pattern up to the upside. Look at soy futures, really strong. Several weeks, green, higher highs, higher lows, really strong commodities, soy. For the week, we finished near the high. It's probably the strongest grain futures I have on my watch list. Looking at wheat futures, down for the week. Lower low, lower high. Red for the week, also near the low of the week it closed. It did not break nor test the mid-level of this candle. So this candle, I found the mid-range of it, labeled it with this horizontal line. We had some buyers step in here for the week. So maybe this is going to be a trap, a reversal to go higher, as many commodities are on a bullish bias to the upside. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Very interesting how the pricing out here, just to see if this is going to be a inverse, fake out reversal. But this certainly being the soy, the strongest one. If there's a pullback on weakness, I'll be looking to go long this, favoring versus these other commodities, just because there's huge thrust up. We'll watch how it goes. Look at the livestock features now. Just looking here at all three, right in the middle, the strongest one, the hog. But let's first look at the cattle, live cattle features. We had a consolidation, break to the upside, another consolidation. So staircase pattern to the upside, bullish bias. For the week, we made a green body, higher high, higher low than the prior week. That's bullish bias. But we're inside this consolidation area. So good entry would have been, or if it still comes lower, if you're bullish, to have an entry down here at the bottom consolidation. May not happen. So this may be a trap here that caught all these shorts down here, and maybe we'll have a reverse to have a follow-up trend. Well, we already had a little reverse there. We just have to see if this continues going higher. So on the shorter time frame, maybe there's a potential trade eye there. But we also have these two consolidations, staircase pattern higher, higher. This may be just playing out a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. The hog is super strong. Look at that. It broke the swing higher over here too. And 2 consecutive weeks higher, high, higher, low. Maybe we're gunning to this swing high here. Looking at feeder cattle. Consolidation broke out to the upside. New consolidation has pulled back to the bottom level of this consolidation. Closed green for the week, higher high, but also made a low. But closed back in that bottom range. And also this body closed green above this body. So some conservative traders wait until we have a green candle that closes above the high this week to go long. Some conservative traders, less conservative, maybe more aggressive, might go long as soon as the next week starts trading above the high of this. So, and they might have their stop right below here, if you're a bullish bias. Again, look at that, the strongest right here. Let's go to the softs, the lumber. So right off the bat here, green for the week, closed near the high of the week. Smaller trading range than these prior 2 weeks. We did trade lower than this prior week, but we also rejected that low and closed back above it. But we still closed near our bottom of this close of this week. But since the lumber has this huge trend to the upside and we have a pullback here and reject that, we may see a consolidation here, or we just may see a straight new trend. So I labeled the mid-range of this week, and we'll see if we got up to that. But all probability is we're still bullish bias on the bigger picture here. Just for to see what happens here, if we're going to have a consolidation or further pullback somewhere, break out of that. But some traders may go long on a break above the high of here, and maybe they'll have a stop down here. But lumber has been really strong. Look at that, for weeks after weeks. Yeah. Let's go look at energy commodities. Crude oil, red for the week, lower low, lower high. Back inside this consolidation area. 2 huge candles for the past 2 weeks versus the smaller trading ranges for the prior weeks. So the bias is down to the downside. And have the swing low label, or see if we're going to break that, or at least test that. Let's look at natural gas. Huge red candle for the week. Yeah, it broke below this inside candle. Very bearish. Maybe we'll come down and test this level. But energy sector is bearish. That's a warning. If you have weak energy sector, weak demand for energy sources, that's a clue that the equity markets may be weak, since so many equity companies, stock companies, businesses use energy for their business, for production, transportation. Yeah. So this may be an early warning sign that we may see further pullback in the equity markets, the stock markets, because this weakness of demand for energy. We'll know in the future. Go to the metals. Gold. It's in a consolidation. Here it is, green for the week. Closed near the mid-range of the week. Made a lower low, lower high than the prior week. Also have buyers stepping in over here. So we're in a consolidation. A lot of uncertainty, but we have a demand zone here, supply zone here. So some traders would wait until it comes down to the swing highs, potential trade eye there. We'll see if we're actually going to go lower than this 1900. We've constantly been having repeatedly each week buyers stepping in these price levels here. And if we break and start closing below those, say we break and test the 1900, go lower, you might have more of a panic sell-off. Versus if we start breaking and closing above the 1950, you might see some new money start coming and buying it. Just potential trade ideas and price levels to watch. Looking at silver, big consolidation, red for the week, lower low, lower high, small body, a lot of indecision there. Yep, still in that level where a lot of buyers been coming in here, but a lot of rejection up here too on the weeklies. Copper, inside candle for the week, indecision, where we did close near the high of the week. We also rejected, making a new high, but we didn't take out the low. We're trading above $3 still. If we're going to see a lower demand of copper and we start reversing going lower, that has correlation then in energy. We see the energy commodities going lower. If copper goes lower, copper is in many industrial use appliances, then there would be less demand for copper. And you might see companies, stocks, pull back and go lower. Yeah, commodities gives some good clue of what may be happening. Let's just finish this looking at the US dollar index, since all commodities are priced in US dollar. Look at that. So we had a pullback in several commodities. We had the US dollar go higher. Typically, you see inverse with the US dollar and the commodities. If you're seeing a US dollar going higher, you may see the inverse pullback of commodities. Well, the bigger picture here, the US dollar index is bearish. Consolidation, breakdown, consolidation, breakdown, consolidation. Inside the trading range, inside this consolidation, staircase pattern lower, lower. So where the US dollar is up for the week, you just are inside this consolidation that may have a rollover to go lower, and then may see the reverse effect and the commodities go higher, but not all the commodities. You may just see that higher push up in the grain product and the livestock, but may see the energy commodities go lower. See how this plays out in the near future.